What's up, everybody? Famous Dave here at Dunestars.com. We wanted to sit down with Ryan Lenger from Lenger Racing.
How you doing?
Bring you guys kind of up close and personal with what he's got going on, his story, where he came from, and the amazing things that he's doing for the off-road industry. I've known Ryan for a number of years. I have a ton of respect for Ryan for what he does. His knowledge is unsurpassed by almost anybody that I know in this industry. He's been a great friend, and I want to give you guys a little glimpse into that, because maybe you guys see him on Instagram, maybe you guys see some of the trucks that he's built or some of the work that he's done going around the dunes out on the West Coast or at the Silver Lake Sand Dunes here in Michigan. But actually getting to know Ryan is really, really cool because he's such a down-to-earth person. So that's kind of what we're going to go over today. Just who is Ryan and what you guys do here at Lenger Racing. So Ryan, can you tell me, like, when you first got started in this industry? I know you did a lot with like the rally car scene and everything like that, but can you give us just a brief history of that, you know, and then how you actually transitioned into doing off-road stuff?
Yeah, so when I graduated high school, I got a degree in mechanical engineering from Michigan Tech, and probably '02 I bought my first pickup, a Mazda B2300, and decided I could build beams for it. I mean, you got to remember, like, '02, the internet wasn't too big. You'd see a little write-up in a magazine about a pre-runner. There used to be a forum called prerunners.net everybody'd hang out on. So I got a set of forged beams, I cut them up, I chopped them up in my parents' garage and built what most people around here call the Maserati. It was like 6 over beams in the front, just like a reworked leaf pack, nothing over the top. And I probably put 100,000 miles on that, driving it back and forth to the UP for school.
While it was beamed?
Well, it was beamed.
Nice.
And then in college I got involved in stage Rally America with some guys at like North Coast Subaru in New York, and did a whole bunch of events with those guys. Another company called All Sport Engineering. I was ditching school on Thursdays and Fridays in college to go fly and do rally support, and then that's how I'd pay my school bills. I got involved in making some parts for the Subaru transmission that weren't available, and that's sort of when Lenger Racing started. You know, we got to label these things. What are we going to call them?
When was that? You know, like,
that would have been '04, '05-ish.
Okay.
I really got started in rally in '04, like making money at it, not just helping, but
Sure.
making a living at it. And then graduated in I stopped going to Michigan Tech in '06, took one class to wrap up the degree early '07, and then '07 and '08, I mean, I made my living doing rally all over. I was involved in some short course stuff here and there, and then we got married in '09. The economy was down, and so stuck more to Grand Rapids, and then slowly built what we do today, help people get in the dunes.
So from that transition to that rally car to off-road truck stuff, like, was that a pretty easy transformation for you, or did it take some learning and getting used to and some trial and error and stuff like that?
They're very similar and very different all at the same time. You know, an off-road truck is much more robust. A rally car is disposable. If they crash big, throw it away and do it again. But there's some very unique things about rally, like you're always thinking about servicing. Those events have a 20-minute service every so often, and you can do a transmission in 20 minutes because the car is so heavily modified towards service. So, you know, when we're building these, I'm always thinking about how am I going to service this, how quick's the repair going to be, where's this bolt going to go, how are we going to get a wrench on here, and I think it turns out for a better product in the end. So they have some crossover. Bring some stuff from rally. You know, you can get away with some certain light parts that maybe the off-road guys don't for some reason, but also the service side.
So I think, like, being up close and personal with some of the builds that you've done, you can see some of that detail go into that. So some of these trucks that Ryan and his team do, I mean, the work and the fabrication on it is at a level that would rival some of the bigger guys in this industry. You know, and you can always tell that you know, you've put thought into it. You've thought about, hey, how does this work? How does this function? You know, what's a good way to do this to where if we gotta change out an A-arm, if we gotta change out an axle, if we gotta change out, you know, shocks, you know, any of that stuff, it's that I think that's an advantage that you have over some of the other people out there, is that rally car stuff that you were into, you know, has that mindset for you to be able to do that. So with building trucks, can you tell us about like one of your most memorable builds that you've done? Or I know there's a lot of them out there, but like something that, you know, like you're quite proud of, or that was just a really good time for you personally.
I mean, we build a lot of cool stuff. I mean, we got great guys that help out here, Martin and Adam and Chris and different guys who are here from time to time. And when you're talking about the memorable stuff and just the thought of service, one thing that's really neat here is that it's kind of a firing squad. We'll put an idea out there. We're all good enough individuals that we're gonna roast it as hard as we can and try and find the weak spots in it before we even do it. So that allows us to build the best thing the first time.
Sure.
Or a lot better. I like Frank's light bar. That's one of my favorite things we've built in a while. It's nothing incredible. Anybody could build it, but it was just fun. It came out looking sharp.
So anybody that doesn't know, he's talking about Frank Taylor has a pre-runner truck, a pretty famous truck, and Frank's a great guy as well. And we'll put a clip in there of the light bar that's on that truck. Another really cool thing that I like about that truck too is the bumper. So like that pre-runner bumper that you've fabbed on that truck.
Which time?
Yeah, was it? It's been a few different times that you've had to fab
7 or 8 or something.
But on that truck, and then Troy and Sarah Dominic,
very similar,
the
yep.
black truck, you know, that similar bumper that's super clean and super cool, and I like that a lot. Getting into this, you know, with all the changes that happen so quick, where do you see this industry going? Like, where do you see yourself 5 years from now with this industry?
I hope we're still building some trucks, doing some fun stuff, but we're also working with a guy named Darren. We're developing a web-based sales company to get some of these parts to people called OffRoad Parts Direct. And so that's going to be our primary sales channel for a lot of our components. We're also in the process of building some axles, and that's going to get branded and sold on that site too. So
I have seen a sneak peek of those axles, and I'm sure some of you guys have as well. And I can tell you that I'm pretty excited to get one for myself. So I think that's going to be pretty, especially if you can keep it at the price point that we discussed. Yeah. That's going to be huge, man.
Well, and we want to build something that, I mean, there's plenty of great companies building axles. I mean, we're not trying to take their business. And, you know, Camberg, ID Designs, Curry, they make top level stuff. And there's a spot between a junkyard axle and a top level axle. We got some sort of unique ideas that we want to try and implement sort of in the middle and get a price point where it makes the trucks more reliable without breaking the bank.
Right, because you know the majority of the people that are out here, you know, trying to drive a pre-runner around, you know, maybe don't have that, you know, 20-30 grand to put into an axle, you know, to drive their truck. So I definitely agree that there's that middle of the road that is just not tapped at all, you know, because it's either you go through junkyard 10 bolts, you know, a couple times a year, or you spend a big chunk of money to get a fully fabbed, you know, rear end from one of those big boys. So yep. It's there's no in between. So you're spot on there.
We're in the Midwest, and you grow up with this economical mindset.
Right.
You know, it's ingrained in people from the Midwest. You know, a lot of them are Dutch here. They're cheap. They want to be as frugal as possible. And so I think that really hits home with us is we need that middle road where it's a lot better than something you're going to get out of the junkyard, but not as big as the big boys. I mean, we can build them that big, but they already got it mastered. We don't need to remaster that.
Right.
We want, you know, there's some direct fit applications in the middle that I think will be really cool. So over the next 6 months to a year, you should be seeing those.
And it certainly makes sense, you know. And something that I like about it too is that you're making it possible for that guy that doesn't have that, you know, large amount of money to have something that's reliable in that truck, to have something that performs well, You know, that might encourage other builds. You know, that might encourage somebody to say, you know what, maybe I do want to do this to my truck because I can actually afford to do that. You know, so it just brings more presence to this industry. You know, and that's something that's really cool about you guys here at Lenger Racing, is that it doesn't matter if it's a $200 beater that you pulled out of the ditch somewhere. You know, if somebody wants to do some fabricating on it and go have some fun with it, you know, you bring it on in. Let's see what we can do. You know,
you're talking about a particular F-150, with or without rocker panels.
Yeah. Or it could be a six-figure truck that needs to have some tweaking done to it, or a total rebuild. So really cool to see that range of spectrum here, at Lenger Racing.
Yeah, I mean, our if we're going to say our goal, we want to help people get in the dunes. We want to help them go off-road. We want to help them enjoy time with their family and the trucks, and just enjoy their buddies. And that comes in all levels.
Yeah.
You know, some people are okay. I mean, some of our best memories in the dunes are with a $500 Amigo.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And some of our best memories are in a $100,000 truck. But there's a spectrum, and everybody falls in it somewhere, and that's really what we're there to do.
Absolutely. So I know that I know personally out here you spend a lot of late nights. I've been out here a few times that we've been out until 4 o'clock in the morning tuning trucks, or trying to do this, or trying to get some hunk of crap F-150 to run, and it won't run. How does your personal life affect that at all? Like, your wife is very understanding of of being here those late nights.
I got the best wife. That's it. That's all I need to know.
Especially with having young kids. Do you find it hard to kind of juggle that lifestyle?
It's what works for us. It's over the years of being, we've been married for 10 years now, and we have found a little bit of a system and a routine that works. Normally here Monday nights, Wednesday, and Friday nights, and then the time we are home is very intentional.
Right.
I don't get in until 9, so it means breakfast with the kids. That morning time is important.
Yeah.
And then my wife is the crabbiest lady between 11 p.m. and maybe 5 a.m. So if the kids wake up, they're mine. We're dealing with them. Let her sleep. So I mean, I get those times. I got 2 boys.
Yeah.
6 and 2. So.
Yeah, me and my wife as well. I have a very understanding wife, because the things that I do in this industry, she's always like, "Do you need another truck? Do we need to have this? Do we need to have that?" And I'm like,
we don't need any of it.
We don't need any of it, but damn it, we're gonna have a fun time using it. So, what are some projects that you guys got going on right now? Can you tell us a little bit about some things that are in the works that we can expect to see out of Lenger?
Do you know about the Reboot Buggy we did? Probably in conjunction with Joey Reuter.
Yep.
Designs.
So I'm familiar with that, and we'll put a little clip.
Fancy museum somewhere in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah.
We've been talking about a new project. 40-inch military tires, Prius, whatever, some sort of square looking box.
If you haven't seen the Reboot Buggy, it's pretty breathtaking on what it is. And like you see it driving down the road, and it looks like some kind of futuristic video game, something or other, that it's way out there crazy.
Yeah.
And it drives down the road and goes on the dunes and
jump it.
Yeah, it has a good time. So that's pretty exciting to see something else coming out of them.
That's in the works. Couple different trucks on short course links maybe this winter. Just trying to nail all the details down and work on our process with our customers to improve that, so that every experience is good.
What about any full-on truck builds? Like, where could somebody come in here with a stock truck and say, make this a pre-runner?
Yeah, for sure. We been emailing a guy named Jake about it, so we'll see what happens with that. He spends part of his time in Michigan and part out west, so it might be a good opportunity for him. Have a lot of fun.
What do you think is something that you could change about this industry if you could? Like, if there's something that I really don't like this part of it, or when somebody's like, hey, can you build this for me? And you're like, I really don't like to. Maybe we'll do it for you and help you out, but it's not your the number one thing that you like to do? Are there any things like that go on that?
Just wish there's more land.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest, land's always getting taken away. They're always fighting about it. Who's this? What toad's there? Where's your tire tracks? Whatever. Like, if we could change that part, that'd be great. And I know you work with the dune community to work on some of those things up at Silver Lake, but even just the trail system in Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting better. It's getting worse. There's always different areas like that can use improvement.
And it's constantly something that
needs attention.
Yeah. Like with just the dunes, like we're losing dunes, as we speak, whether it be to natural causes like the height of the water, like Michigan taking it over, or whether it be from, our neighbors that get upset about noise and things like that. So it's definitely something that bothers me too, is not, having enough room to play. But with with somebody bringing in a repair or something like that, I've seen just a little bit of everything here. I remember one time I came in here, there was a jet ski all strewn apart in this entire area, and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm putting a motor in a jet ski. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's a little bit of everything that comes in here. From a trailer that was outside that you were working on that you had to fix up.
Yep. I mean, you used to kind of say anything for money. Like, I'm down to fix whatever, but it's really we're solving problems and manufacturing solutions.
Okay.
I want a CBR motor in my jet ski. We'll help you with that. I can't do it for free, but we'll help you get it done. We'll figure it out with you.
For sure.
Because there's a lot of issues that, when you start looking at a project like that, how fast is the output spinning? How fast is the impeller drive designed to go? Where's the drive shaft? Where's the gas tank? What are you going to do for exhaust, radiators, air boxes, all this stuff that wasn't intended, and you're solving a lot of problems, and experience comes into that.
Yeah.
Having experience,
Definitely.
having some knowledge, understanding why stuff fails. A lot of fabricators never took a class in mechanics of materials, or basic engineering design.
Right.
And that helps us solve those problems.
For sure.
And we got Martin Monzo who does a lot of welding for us. He has a ton of experience in welding. If you talk to a welder, there's not many people who weld magnesium, in copper, in titanium, in this alloy of cast aluminum, that alloy of steel, and yada yada yada.
I don't think there's many people around that can weld like Monzo can. He's definitely very, very good at his craft, for sure.
Yeah, and the other thing that's really unique about Lenger Racing is we have a pretty massive network of people. I got a guy for that. It's kind of what we always joke. If I don't know, I got a guy who knows, and if he doesn't know, he has a guy. And we can reach out several times. My buddy Blake worked for Fox for a long time in the dealerships, Honda and Ford and Toyota and whatever. So he knows people in each one of those dealerships, so he can reach out and get some information that's sometimes hard to get.
Yeah, like the inside stuff.
I mean, even like with your F-150. Yep. I got the same year F-150, 1 year newer F-150 works without the ABS hooked up. What's going on? We dropped it off at the dealer. The dealer bailed on it. Yep. After putting a new computer and some other stuff in it, they wanted to wash their hands and didn't charge us anything for it.
Yep.
We had to call around and talk to people and actually figure out what was going on, and finally figured it out. But the network's huge on being able to solve problems for people. For sure. I think that's a good thing too, is to just, whenever you are able to network with other people that are doing this, like that's my favorite thing to do, is get to know some of these people and develop that relationship, instead of having people that are like, oh, this is another shop that's doing something similar to us, let's degrade them or talk bad about them. It's like, hey, there might be a day when they can help you out, or there might be a day where you're able to help them out. Why not have that good relationship instead of being enemies? But not everybody can figure that out yet. Nope, not yet. With time,
yeah, it'll happen. So we're obviously in Michigan here, close to the Silver Lake sand dunes. Tell me about one of your best times at Silver Lake.
Best times at Silver Lake. Maybe not the best. What about the first time? So I my family has nothing to do with dunes. Nothing to do with off-road. Mostly nothing to do with fun. Like, Dad was just busy saving money and paying the house off, right? So I mean, you hear about it growing up from friends at school or whatever. So when I bought that Mazda, I had some lift coils on the front, some 33-inch tires. I mean, literally pre-runner bumper I made, and went up there the first time, and people were just like irritated by me that I was in a 2-wheel drive truck. I got stuck a lot and a lot of digging. No one really wanted to pull us out. So like, it's really cool to see the change in that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my first time in early 2000s, and now everybody accepts a pre-runner and is willing to help. And as soon as it's broken, somebody's like, "Can I pull you out?"
Yeah.
Like, that community it's a great community, but it's definitely like my first getting my foot in the door. Guy in 4-wheel drive drives, "What are you doing? You stuck? You shouldn't be out here in 2-wheel drive, idiot." Brr, gone.
See you later.
Like, you could have just given me a little help. So that's a memory.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think like if you had to choose the best modification to do, like, so I have my stock Silverado, right?
Want the air out of your tires?
And
That's the best one.
No, like something fabricated that you could do. Like what do you think is the first spot to start on a pre-runner build? Like, do you think like more power, more travel,
more travel, good shocks.
Like what's the best thing? You think
my wife, we go up there. She drives the Tahoe, but we have Fox shocks on it. It's completely stock. It's an 03 Tahoe with 2017 wheels on it. That's it, and Fox shocks, and you can hammer down. It's a fun time. Load the kids up, load the chairs, snacks, whatever, and she can go everywhere she wants to go. You can climb Test Hill.
Yep.
And the shocks were a big plus. I mean, you're talking $600, and you can do them in your driveway.
It's like a Fox 2.0.
Fox 2.0, yeah. Internal floater piston, the aluminum body ones, and it's a lot of bang for your buck if you're just trying to get out there and have a little bit more fun.
Sure. So with in regards to like pre-runner trucks, you always hear people that are, cage, safety, and I think a lot of that goes on how the people drive it. Right? Like, you can have a pretty capable truck, but if you're gonna putz around and go out to the beach, then maybe that cage isn't your top priority. But
it's always risk management. I'm definitely more risky than most people.
Right.
So you want to manage the risk. The other thing that people don't really, cages are great for safety, yeah. Good, be safe, don't go to the hospital. It's cheaper than a hospital bill. But it makes the truck a lot more reliable, strong. Yeah. You don't really realize, but when that pre-runner's going around, that cab and frame are doing this. And for some reason, it seems like most of the time, the core support's what's holding that thing front to back for some reason. And it's always taking those front impacts and hitting the hill. So you can see trucks that haven't been caged, they start cracking the core support or the inner fender structures. The floors start cracking near the body mounts. They're getting worked out. Right. And so when you get that cage in there, it ties it all together, it makes it a solid one piece. And you can't take that fatigue back out of that truck once it's happened. So getting the cage in there early helps with that, and it helps the longevity of the vehicle. For sure. Along with safety. And they look cool.
They do. So we talked a little bit at lunch about this, but Fox or King?
Fox. They support the Midwest better.
Fox does?
I lied to you. It's King. King supports the Midwest better. Fox probably makes a little bit better shock, but it's really, you're slicing it 6 of one, 1/2 dozen of the other.
I think it's like the Ford and Chevy thing. You know what I mean? I think like King and Fox both make a decent shock. Mm-hmm. It's like what's your preference?
It is. Fox, I think, uses slightly better materials on a couple of the parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something. But
I'll tell you,
got shocks apart every single day. So
all the time.
You might.
But I'll tell you right now, King did a definite better job as this industry was coming in and supporting the Midwest and getting us parts and working with us to get to the point where we are. We're a tier 3 dealer with them.
Sure.
That doesn't happen with Fox the same way it did with King. Fox wants a big buy-in.
Right.
In 2010, I didn't have money to buy $50 or $60 or $70,000 worth of product to be a dealer. But King met me part way and said, we'll get to this level, get to this level, get to this level. And over time, I mean, even working with them on Higgins Raptor stuff, that really opened their eyes to say, okay, there is a market there.
Right.
We need to support it. So
yeah, these guys are doing something out here. For sure. All right. Well, I really
and service your shocks once a year, every 1,000 miles.
Every 1,000 miles.
That's what Ford recommends for the Raptors, and that's a good interval. Once a season or every 1,000 miles if you're running hard.
I don't know if I can track my mileage.
Well, once a season.
Just once a season?
Once a season.
All right.
And there's a lot of dudes around here doing it.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that are pretty knowledgeable about shocks. You know, that can get them done for sure. So
and work on the tune.
There's not really any excuse to not do that.
No, and work on the shock tune. People, a lot of times we get a truck done and people think it rides so great. Seth Macklin's truck, for instance. We took that out just a few weeks ago, and he said it's never ridden better. And I'm thinking in my head, let's pack it up and go back and start working on it. We made 2 laps, that's enough.
Yeah, this thing needs some
yeah,
help.
shock tuning, you know, change the rebound in the front. That definitely helped. The front and the back interact a lot on shocks, so
right.
spend some time, work on it, watch some videos, send some videos around, ask people. There's some definite information that everybody can gain from getting shocks tuned up right.
Absolutely, I agree.
And then when they're tuned up right, they're safer.
Right.
If they're tuned
And
up
they
right,
perform better.
oh yeah,
you
rides
take a
better,
truck
softer.
that Can actually handle what you're throwing at it. You know, it makes all the difference. So, yeah, that's a good point.
Well, and then the shocks, I mean, they're going to affect your drivetrain. If the tire's staying connected to the ground, you're not going to break ring gears. You're not going to break pinion gears. You're not going to break drive shafts. You're not going to break business inside your train. I mean, when everything's working right, it works a lot better.
More reliable for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I'm super thankful that you opened your shop up to us today and let us come in here and set all this stuff up and just really goes to show your level of character and who you are, and I hope we can show that to other people as well. What's your favorite food?
I don't know. Whatever you feed me. I'm not very picky. I have preferences, but whatever somebody puts in front of me.
So a while ago, I came and had lunch with Ryan, and we would go to Subway right down the street here, and I'm like, "What do you get here?" Salad or something. I'm like, "You ever put steak on it?" No. I'm like, "Oh, you gotta try steak on the salad, man." So we got like almost matching salads. Sat down and had a great lunch together, and from then on, I think at least once a month I get a text from Ryan with a picture of a steak salad that he's eating the exact same way that we got it on that day. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Until you show me something different, I probably won't make a change in the order.
We'll expand his horizons to get something else, and then we'll see that. But thanks again, man. I appreciate you letting us in here and everything you do, buddy.
Sure.
All right.